Beginning, the falling star that wasn't a star. Most people living on Outpost 17 went their entire lives without seeing anything unusual. The tiny settlement, tucked against the jagged cliffs of the barren moon Escalates, was considered one of the dullest, safest postings in the entire Pashorn sector. Which is exactly why I took the job. I wanted quiet. I wanted normal. I wanted a place where nothing unexpected ever happened. But the universe, as usual, had a cruel sense of humor. It began with a streak of light cutting across the night sky, a bright, burning arc that shook the mountains with a faint rumble. At first, I assumed it was a meteor. Escalates had hundreds of tiny ones every year. Except this one didn't hit the surface. It crashed into the cliffs halfway up the ridge, slamming into the rock with a metallic scream. Something mechanical. Something alive. Something not a meteor. The alarms across Outpost 17 went silent for a moment before flickering back online. No warning, no alerts, nothing except a general vibration through the ground. Curiosity overrode my better judgment. I grabbed a light, my coat, and my oxygen pack. And I climbed. The night air was thin and cold, biting through my gloves as I scaled the rocky hillside. Dust drifted down the slope like falling snow. When I reached the spot where the object had crashed, my breath caught in my throat. A ship, sleek, silver, and triangular, was embedded in the cliff. Not a human design. Panels glowed faintly, pulsing in and out like a dying heartbeat. As I stepped closer, the side of the craft hissed open. Not fully, just enough to reveal a figure sprawled inside. A woman. Tall. Regal. Bleeding. Her armor was shattered, dark violet plating cracked open to reveal glowing alien flesh beneath. A crown-like structure, organic and metallic intertwined, rested crookedly on her head. Her skin shimmered faintly, a soft iridescent blue beneath streaks of crimson. She lifted her head at the sound of my footsteps. Her eyes, silver with vertical pupils, locked onto mine. Her voice was weak but sharp as a blade. "Do not lay your human hands on me." I froze mid-step. She struggled to sit upright, one hand pressed to her abdomen where glowing, blood-like fluid seeped through her armor. "You're hurt," I said, raising my hands. "I'm not going to touch you." Her breath trembled as she exhaled. "You humans always try to help. But your touch," she grimaced, "will only worsen my injuries. Our physiologies are incompatible." She tried to stand. Her legs buckled. She collapsed to one knee with a strangled gasp. I wanted to reach out instinctively, but her warning rang through my skull again. I forced myself to stay still. "Tell me what to do," I said. "Even if I can't touch you, I can help." She studied me through pain-clouded eyes. "What is your name, human?" "Elias," I said. "Maintenance specialist. Not a doctor, not a soldier. But I can get you to shelter." Her lips parted in a bitter half-smile. "Your occupation matters little. You are the first living soul I've seen since my escape." She paused, then whispered, "I am Queen Velira of the Thalorian Crown." "Queen." My stomach dropped. "What happened to you?" Her gaze hardened, a mixture of pain and fury. "Betrayal. By those sworn to protect me." She coughed, blood splattering the floor of the craft. "Help me, Elias of Outpost 17. But remember, you must not touch me." Middle-A queen hiding in a maintenance shelter. Getting her off that ship without touching her was like trying to move a collapsed beam using only shadows. But Velira, despite her injuries, was determined. She pulled herself from the wreckage by gripping the side of the ship and dragging her body forward, her claws digging into the metal. Every movement sent pain rippling through her glowing wounds, yet she did not scream. She was a queen, every motion radiating dignity even as she bled on the rocks. I walked beside her, guiding her verbally, clearing debris from her path, steadying obstacles but never her. The moment my hand drifted too close to her arm, she hissed. Human, distance. My blood reacts violently to foreign organics. I immediately pulled back. We reached a small maintenance shelter built into the cliff, barely big enough for storage equipment, but it would shield her from the elements. The door shut behind us with a metallic click. She immediately sagged against the wall, trembling. I propped a crate near her, not touching her, just positioning it with my boot so she could lean without sliding to the floor. Her breathing was ragged, but controlled. "Thank you," she whispered. For an alien queen who had just forbid my touch, those 2 words felt heavier than a planet-side oath. The confession of the queen. As the hours passed, I tried everything to help her without violating her rule. I heated water, handed tools by sliding them across the floor, and adjusted the broken shelter's heating grids. Velira watched me with those piercing silver eyes, studying me as though she couldn't believe a human would help her. Finally, she broke the silence. "You wonder why my own people betrayed me?" I did. But I let her speak on her own terms. "My empire is ancient. Our power is tied to our blood. For millennia, the royal lineage remained unbroken." She looked down at her glowing wounds. But during a diplomatic retreat, I discovered something forbidden. "What?" I asked. Her voice dropped. "Peace." I blinked. "Peace is forbidden? Among my people, strength comes from conflict. Bloodlines thrive through dominance. My teachings, unity, diplomacy, were seen as weakness. Those closest to me plotted against me. So they tried to kill you." Her jaw clenched. "Yes. My guards struck first. They thought if they eliminated me quietly, the empire could return to its old ways." Her gaze drifted to the floor, distant. "I escaped only because my personal attendant, my most loyal servant, warned me moments before he was executed." I felt a twisting in my chest. "You lost everything," I murmured. She looked up sharply. "No. I lost everything the moment they convinced themselves I was a threat to tradition." She inhaled shakily. "But I did not lose my will to live." Her eyes locked onto mine. "That is why I crashed here. Your moon interfered with my ship's stabilizers. Yet fate brought me to you." Her voice softened. "You. A human with no reason to help me, who does anyway?" I shrugged awkwardly. "You needed help." A faint smile touched her lips. "Your simplicity is refreshing, Elias. The touch that could kill." Velira's wounds grew worse. Her blood glowed brighter, pulsing like unstable plasma. The air around her hummed with static. She curled over, clutching her side, jaw tight. I stood helplessly nearby. "What can I do?" I pleaded. "Tell me." Her eyes flicked toward me, pupils shrinking. "You must not touch me," she gasped. "It will kill you." "Then how do I help you survive?" Her breath trembled. "My kind heal through energy siphoning. I need a power source, pure, steady, radiant." I looked around the shelter. Then at the broken heating grid. Then at the portable generator beside the wall. "It's not meant for alien physiology," I warned, "but I can reroute the energy." She nodded weakly. "Do it." I spent the next 30 minutes tearing the shelter apart, rigging wires, bypassing safeties, and funneling pure electrical current through a metal conduit. I positioned it near her without letting it touch her skin. She reached out with trembling fingers, hovering over the conduit. Blue sparks danced between her skin and the metal. A low moan, half relief, half pain, escaped her as the energy flowed into her body. Her wounds flickered, beginning to close. Not fully, but enough to stabilize her. When she leaned back against the wall, breathing almost steady, she whispered, "You saved my life." I exhaled shakily. I'd save it again. Her gaze softened, something tender, almost curious. Human, why do you do this? You owe me nothing. I hesitated. Because you asked me to help you without touching you. That's trust. And you're someone worth helping. Her lips parted slightly in surprise. It was the first time she looked less like a queen and more like a woman fighting against the weight of a fractured universe. Climax, the hunters arrive. Just when Velira seemed stable, the shelter lights flickered. A loud rumble shook the floor. Then another. Velira's eyes snapped open. No, she breathed. They've found me. Your people. She shook her head. Not loyalists. Hunters. Assassins sent to finish what the others began. My blood went cold. Before I could speak, the roof of the shelter split open with a blast of concussive energy. Shards of metal rained down. 3 armored Thalorians descended, weapons glowing hot. Velira tried to stand, but collapsed. Her healing wasn't complete. I stepped in front of her without thinking. The lead hunter aimed a spear of crackling plasma at my chest. Human, he snarled, move aside. The traitor dies tonight. My instincts screamed to run. But Velira had no strength to fight. And I wasn't about to let her be murdered. I grabbed the conduit pipe I'd used earlier and swung it into the power grid. Sparks exploded, and raw electrical energy shot through the air. Human hands couldn't touch Velira. But human hands could touch everything else. The lightning surged, blasting into the hunter's armor, short-circuiting their exosuits. 2 staggered back, disoriented. The third lunged. A spear sliced across my arm, searing heat cutting through my jacket. I fell to one knee. Velira screamed my name. With her last reserves of strength, she forced herself upright. Her aura burst into brilliant blue flames, swirling around her like a vortex. She extended her hand, never touching me directly, and energy wrapped around my body, shielding me. Then she unleashed a wave of power so intense it rippled through the shelter. The hunters were thrown back, slamming into the cliffside. Unmoving. Silenced. When the light faded, Velira swayed, then collapsed against me. Her forehead rested against my shoulder, still not touching skin to skin, but close enough that warmth spread through me. You protected me, she whispered. You protected me first. She smiled faintly. You foolish, brave human. Ending a queen's choice. We spent the next hour in silence as Velira regained her strength. Finally, as dawn rose over El Ares, casting golden light across the mountains, she stood fully. Her wounds had closed. Her strength had returned. Her regal posture had reformed. She looked radiant. Powerful. Whole. But her eyes, their softness lingered only when they looked at me. I must leave, she said gently. There will be more hunters. I cannot stay here. I nodded slowly. I figured. She stepped closer, close enough that her breath brushed my cheek. But know this, Elias. Her voice softened, trembling with a vulnerability I never expected from a queen. You were the only soul in the galaxy who helped me without wanting anything in return. I swallowed hard. You warned me not to touch you. I listened. Her expression warmed. And for that, she lifted a glowing clawed hand, hovering it above mine, close but not touching. I will carry your name with me into the stars. My chest tightened. Will I see you again? Her silver eyes softened into something heartbreakingly sincere. Yes. She leaned in, her lips almost touching my ear. When I return, not as a fugitive, but as a queen with her throne reclaimed, you will be the first I seek. Her ship, repaired with her newfound energy, descended behind her. She stepped inside. Before the door shut, she spoke one final time. Elias, thank you for respecting the one rule that kept us both alive. She gave a small, rare smile. And thank you for reaching me without laying your human hands upon me." The ship lifted into the sky, disappearing into the pale morning light. I stood alone on the cliff, wind brushing my face, heart heavier and brighter than before. She was gone. But one thing was certain. Queen Valera would return for me. And when she did, the universe itself would tremble.